It is time for a showdown. Asta versus Ichika. Devil Host versus Samurai. After last chapter's revelations, this dispute could only be settled with some good old-fashioned violence. We've got two powerful combatants ready to go all out over the honor of Sukehiro Yami. Let's get to it. We open chapter 343 on a wide-eyed Asta. He is still not sure what to make of Ichika's violence. However, Ichika does not give him much time to think. The younger Yami heir is furious and eager to bring the pain. She goes for the first attack of the fight, firing a volley of dark magic blasts right at Asta. They're fast too, zipping through the air. Asta only just manages to get to the side thanks to Devil Union boosting his speed. That is not enough to deter Ichika for long, however. She is a member of the Ryuzen 7, one of the most powerful mages in the Land of the Sun. She's got a lot more tricks up her sleeve than just one attack spell. Interestingly, she does not show us any of her brother's techniques. Instead, the samurai holds out her hand, focusing dark magic through it. It forms a spear of pure black energy. She's really taken the whole Wano Act 4 thing to heart and is using Blackbeard's Kurosu. Dark magic is surprisingly versatile. With just that gesture, Asta gets physically drawn towards Ichika. He has been pulled off of his feet by the force of her spell. Even the best of warriors will have trouble fighting when they can't stand. Ichika is ready for him, bringing her sword up high over her head before slashing down at Asta. That is a hefty strike, the sort you would use to split a man in half. Asta is ready for her, however. He intensifies his Devil Union, using the increased anti-magic to cancel out Ichika's spell. Even if it hasn't left her hand, the effect it had on him was due to the magic. The power circulating through him via Devil Union was enough to counteract it. Asta is no fool. He knows how to fight a foe who relies on one OP spell like this. Still, Ichika has more to bring to the fight than her spells. She is a warrior, not just a mage, and can recover from a setback like this. The samurai recovers quickly, swinging around to kick Asta squarely in the torso. The blow gets through and lands hard. The Devil Host is knocked back into the river with a mighty splash. If she had had these at 10 ready, that would have been downright devastating. Asta needs a second to pull himself up from beneath the water, even with this shallow stream. He took a tough hit and probably needs to clear his lungs. Ichika's got no interest in giving him a chance to catch his breath, however. She swoops down towards Asta, already at the point of delivering a follow-up blow. Ichika is being ruthless here, capitalizing on the moment of weakness to try and get some more damage in. She will quite literally kick a man when he is down. For the first time in the fight though, Asta sees an opportunity. He uses his wings to launch himself upward, ready to intercept Ichika with a strike of his own. She thought he was down and that she had the time to land a final blow. That was her mistake, and he could use it. Asta has been through a whole day of training since his last fight with the younger Yami, and it paid off. He has finally been able to seize an opening, find a weakness, and exploit it. For the first time, Asta is confident he can land this at 10. But no, at the last second, Ichika pulls upward, evading Asta's strike. She somehow managed to go backwards and straight up in the air, defying all the laws of physics. And wait, hold on a second, adjusting your movement midair? Did Ichika just double jump? No, we see what she actually pulled on the next page. Ichika has filled the sky with small black holes via a spell she calls Dark Star. This is a more elaborate version of the Kurosu-like technique she tried earlier. With Dark Star, Ichika creates a gravitational pull she can control easily. Usually she would go for the same version she pulled on Asta earlier, but Devil Union makes that impossible. However, if she casts it on herself, Ichika will make her own movements hard for Asta to read. She can use the artificial gravity field to pull crazy acrobatic stunts, matching Devil Union's flight. She just has to be selective with which black hole she uses, adjusting gravity to pull herself any which way. These two keep adapting to each other's moves. It is one counter after another. This fight is going to be close. Ichika bounds through the air, using Dark Star to make one impossible jump after another. She's like some kind of circus acrobat, flipping and bounding through the air. With this, she is confident Asta won't be able to predict her movements. Asta, however, soars past her. He doesn't try to hit the fast-moving samurai. The Black Bull has a different target in mind. He flies up to the center of the Dark Star field, Demon Destroyer raised high. A single well-placed strike is enough to annihilate the entire spell. With all the Dark Stars linked, anti-magic applied to one removes them all. One by one, the black holes winked out of existence, denying Ichika her mobility advantage. Once again, the two combatants are back on even footing. Everything Ichika can bring to the fight via spellcasting, Asta can cancel out with his anti-magic. And so, fancy abilities won't be enough to turn this fight around. Both Asta and Ichika realize that and start closing in on each other rapidly. They are both charging at each other as fast and as hard as possible, pulling all their magic once again. The lightning flares from their eyes as they make ready for the coming strike. After these opening blows, there is only one thing that will decide the fate of this battle: raw power. And between these two, who is stronger will come down to which of these combatants can best perform the Zaten. Asta is convinced he has it down this time. He has been battered by 4 powerful Zaten using mages all day long. He's gotten a sense for how the move works and when to best use it. All that training will finally pay off in this climactic clash. Ichika is ready for him, however. This isn't the first time she has fought a Zaten using opponent, and she knows how to counter someone who just learned the technique yesterday. She shifts to the side at the last second, evading Asta's lunge and leaving the Black Bull open to a counter blow. She doesn't bother with her sword, however. It would take too long to land a counter swing. Asta could probably block that. Instead, she kicks against his forehead, transferring her Zaten to her foot. Asta doesn't have a chance to react to the sudden attack. He's just been knocked down to the water once again, the impact kicking up one more devastating splash. This time, it really was the Zaten that pushed him down into the water. It has to be tough to move after a blow like that. Interestingly though, even with her foe on the ground, Ichika didn't go for any kind of coup de grace. She just descends slowly towards the water as Asta lies there in the river. The Black Bull must be completely drenched at this point. He has been knocked into this one stream repeatedly. His robes have been soaked through. Her position secure and anger cooling, Ichika takes a second to insult Asta. There was no way he could even hope to come out ahead in a clash of the 10 with her. After all, she is the one who taught him the technique. She has been performing it for years. It's no surprise that she is still more experienced with it than he is. Ichika looms over the Black Bull, looking like some shadowy angel of death. She claims Asta has no determination, conviction, or competence. As far as she's concerned, someone like him could never become the Wizard King. This idiot wants to become his nation's version of Ryuya? That is laughable. It's easy to see this as pure trash talk, with Ichika going for whatever she can think of that might hurt Asta the most. It's clear Asta's words last time were deeply infuriating to Ichika. While she tries to act dignified and serene, she is not above that kind of petty vengeance. Still, it's starting to seem more like the Yami heir really is aiming to train the young Black Bull. She's not going for the kill even when presented with a perfect opportunity. Perhaps Ichika thinks insulting and antagonizing the bullheaded foreigner will drive him to prove her wrong. If so, it was a bad call. Asta doesn't seem to have been listening to her insults. Instead, he was sensing Ichika's ki. He can feel the anger she holds towards both him and Captain Yami. It's burning her up inside. She's not lying about what she experienced. But there's some other emotion at play within the samurai. There is something on Ichika's mind right now that she hasn't spoken about. Some other factor that is eating her up inside. Asta shares as much with his opponent, asking the younger Yami outright what is getting to her. Ichika was silent for a moment after that. We can't see her face behind the mask, but the little pause is telling. Asta was right on the money. There is something more at play here than pure hatred towards Asta and Captain Yami. Something else is pushing Ichika to lash out, and Asta picks up on it. Our boy is going for the classic talk no jutsu. With a little more conversation, he might be able to work through Ichika's emotional issues. He could actually be able to truly befriend her given a little time. Still, for the moment, the Dark Samurai denies any such ulterior motive. There is no way Ichika would admit to anything after their last conversation. The Dark Samurai snorts, commanding the foreigner not to address her like he knows her. There is a seed here, but Asta can't pull off this conversation just yet. So for now, we are back to the fight in earnest. Talk might have been the better path, but Ichika is not willing to listen, and Asta doesn't have the information he needs. The only way they're going to settle their differences for now is with violence. Asta decided that he has finally worked out his own personal Zaten style. He can pull it off, and he will do it his way. The two swordsmen dart towards each other, going for one final, decisive clash. Once again, Asta and Ichika flare their magic, the lightning coursing from their eyes. This is a classic samurai action. You can almost see them do the blade pass before one slowly falls. However, the fight is unexpectedly interrupted before they reach that point. Neither warrior manages to land a blow. Ryuya has entered the scene without anyone even noticing him. The Shogun has been taking some ninja lessons apparently. He somehow managed to insert himself between Ichika and Asta, intercepting both attacks with his bare hands. I repeat, this totally normal guy with no magical power, has somehow blocked 2 Zetens simultaneously, stopping 2 super powerful attacks without seeming to have any effort involved. These are blows that can shatter the heavens, and Ryuya is acting like they're nothing. He turned Ichika's blade aside by placing his hand on her blade hilt, but he just took Asta's strike on his arm like it was nothing. So really, how powerful is this guy? For someone who supposedly has no magical power, he seems to be ridiculously strong. No amount of foresight can justify this insane feat. Ichika's eyes go wide at the sudden arrival of her lord. All of a sudden, the red mist of anger has completely left her. She can actually realize what she's done. The samurai has to be feeling guilty as sin right about now. She just tried to kill her lord's honored guest. No amount of personal grievances can excuse that. The samurai falls to her knees, letting her magic fade away. Ichika stammers, barely able to get her apologies out quickly enough. It's interesting how completely different she is the second Ryuya shows up. The proud samurai doesn't even try to defend herself or justify her actions. Instead, she immediately suggests she should commit seppuku in an attempt to apologize to Ryuya. It says so much about Ichika that that's the plan she jumps to. Not a gift box, not an apology to Asta, seppuku. She really doesn't do half measures. Thankfully, Ryuya waves that idea down at once. He is no evil overlord. There is no way he would demand that kind of loyalty from his subordinate. He's not even going to blame Ichika for what happened here. As intense as his aide can get, the shogun is usually a pretty chill guy. Ryuya is just happy no one seems to be hurt too badly, though he notes Asta is bleeding some. Ryuya asks his new friend if he's okay. The Black Bull barely registers the pain, however. He is lost in his frustration. He ultimately failed here, and that's not because he couldn't take Ichika down. Asta isn't a bloodthirsty guy. That sort of thing doesn't matter to him. Ultimately though, he could not perform this at 10. He had multiple chances in that fight, but was completely unable to take advantage of them. Even if the fight was ultimately interrupted, this was still Asta's loss. He is seething over it. He was so close. Asta is convinced he can get it down. He just needs a little more time to perfect it. Still, for now, he has reality to deal with. Finally processing what just happened, Asta apologizes to Ryuya. He just slashed at the shogun's arm after all. It's probably a bad thing to assault a head of state, even if it was technically an accident. Hopefully it's not a serious wound. At a glance, it doesn't even look like Asta was able to cut his robe. Thankfully, Ryuya isn't too worried, laughing at the idea. Even if Asta had hurt him, they are right by Fumito's house after all. He can just head over to the healer to get patched up thanks to those convenient water sprites. It's even an excuse for him to get a nice meal. And for Asta, that's gotta be tempting after a long day of training. Before we can leave the scene, however, the shogun realizes something. His mystical eye has picked up on an unfortunate new development, and at once, he goes tense. Ryuya glances to one side, muttering that they have arrived. For once, he's frowning. Even for the usually happy shogun, this new person is someone to be deeply worried about. It looks like this is the one situation even Ryuya will have to take seriously. Who is he talking about? Well, we cut to them immediately. Far above the land of the sun, a stranger is talking to her friends. She's taking the time to muse about their location. This continent was a place she had only heard about in old stories. It is supposed to be a myth. It's bizarre to actually be here, but holy power and a glorious mission will take you to some strange places. Panning up, we see that Sister Lily has arrived in the land of the sun, complete with her shiny new halo and horns. She's standing proudly against the cloudy night sky, surveying the area for any signs of her target. Lucius's right-hand woman has found Asta's rough location, and she's probably not going to let him escape a second time. Given that she is hosting a powerful devil, she is not going to be easy for the locals to deal with. Even the Ryuzen may not be enough to hold a paladin back from their target. And so, I hope you're ready for another hefty dose of trauma, Asta, because your one true love is back for round 2. And unfortunately, she has run out of semi-mythical continents to throw you on. And while Asta does have some new friends to defend him now, so too does Sister Lily. She has brought 2 more paladins with her as backup. One of them appears to be Heath Grice, a minor member of the Eye of the Midnight Sun. If you don't remember, he is the ice mage that Asta fought during his first mission with the Black Bulls, and so it's really odd to see him as a paladin. Not because he was such an early villain, or because he wasn't that holy a person, but because he was very dead when we last saw him. I mean, Grice killed himself rather than get arrested by the Clover Kingdom for his crimes, and now he's just back again? So can the paladin creation process restore the dead? If so, who knows what forces Lucius might be able to throw against the Clover Kingdom. Now, the other figure is a strange one. It doesn't seem like we have met them before, but unlike the other paladins, this one seems to only be wearing a baggy pair of pants. You can see the magical veins on their arms, and their torso is mostly skin and bone. Their hair is wild and long, and they are grinning down at the kingdom below. They can't have been doing well before Lucius found them. Could they have been a prisoner? Some kind of hermit? Whoever this is, they are clearly someone to watch out for. Lucius wouldn't grant the power of a paladin to just anyone. Regardless, that is where we leave chapter 343. No more training for a bit. Lucius's forces have already found Asta. This is going to get intense. Will the other Ryuzen join the fight? Will Asta be able to confront Sister Lily? Throw us your answers in the comments down below. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.